Hello, it is day 6 of quarantine or shelter at home here in Mecklenburg County, and it's day 1 of shelter at home in North Carolina. So today I thought I would bring you into my husband's library, his office, because I think it's always fascinating when you go into somebody's study and you can see and learn a lot about them based on what they have. So one of the cool things I like about my husband's office is that he has a ladder to climb up to the high shelves, but I always like to see if we can do the Beauty and the Beast scene. Anyway, so you can just see a lot. Joe's got a really eclectic library. He's got a lot on leadership. He spent part of his career teaching leadership at the United States Military Academy. And then when he retired, he spent 13 years on the faculty at the Fuqua School of Business at Duke University teaching leadership and management. Joe is truly a student of leadership. We have a colleague at their leadership, Colonel retired Tom Magnus. Tom is a terrific member of our faculty, and he's the author of the book Leader Business and Battle-Tested Leadership Strategies for Any Organization. And when Tom teaches, he asks the question, what are you reading? And then he will go on from that question and say, what are you learning from what you're reading? And very often when you're in the leadership space, people ask you for reading lists or book recommendations. And here's a book called The Leader's Bookshelf by Admiral Stavridis and R. Manning Ansel. And what they did is they surveyed over 200 active duty and retired 4-stars and asked them what's on their bookshelf. And they came up with a book. With this book, it has 50 different books in it, little synopsis about the book, the author, and more importantly, the leadership lessons that you can learn from that book. And Joe was talking to me about this book, and he said, I have 47 of the 50 books in my library. The other question I have for you is, are you reading to your children? We started reading to the kids when they were infants, and our son Jay is a voracious reader. And in first grade, Jay started reading the Clancy novels. And he would come to me as a little first grader and say, Mommy, can I read this book? And so I would go to his dad, who'd read the book, and say, is it okay if he reads this book? And Joe would say, yeah, it's fine. During a student-teacher conference in first grade, his teacher told us that he was reading too much. And I said, I can't believe a teacher would ever tell me my son is reading too much. Maybe he's reading at inappropriate times, like during math class. She said, yes, that's what I mean. So the other thing that Joe does that I think is pretty terrific is he has books to give to people as gifts. And you can see there are different leadership books. We got Coach K, another colleague of ours that Allison Levine, who's written On the Edge. She has climbed Mount Everest. Amazing. General Schwarzkopf, another colleague of ours, Becky Halstead, The First Person You Must Lead Is You. Terrific book. Another book Joe gives is called The Tiny Warrior, A Path to Personal Discovery and Achievement, by DJ Vanis, who is actually an Air Force Academy graduate and a Native American. So, and all these books are autographs. So my question to you is, what are you doing with your time? A lot of times people say they don't have the time to read. You probably have some time to read now, so hopefully I've given you some good recommendations on where you can start. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure you subscribe to this vlog and share it with your colleagues and friends. Remember, be the standard.